Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Eagles suffer their worst loss yet, falling to the Arizona Cardinals in embarrassing fashion. The floundering defense fails to force a single punt in the game, while questionable play calls on offense continue to hold back a unit full of talent. Where can the team go from here? Is there anything to look forward to in the playoffs? Will Nick Sirianni be on the hot seat this offseason? Birds finish the season against the Giants on Sunday. The Flyers finished off a tough road trip, losing 3 of 4 on the West Coast. Is the team just hitting a bump in the road or regressing down to our original expectations? The Orange and Black take on the Blue Jackets on Thursday. Joel Embiid returns to the Sixers lineup on Tuesday against the Bulls, posting a 31-point triple-double, while once again sitting out the entire fourth quarter. Trade rumors continue to percolate. Who could Daryl Morey be targeting to bolster the roster? The Phillies remain stuck in neutral, having yet to make any significant offseason acquisitions, while the division rival Braves trade for starting pitcher Chris Sale. All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Happy New Year. Pretty good. First pod of 2024. So we've officially reached, I guess, 2 different years now for the pod, which is big.
This is officially season 2.
yeah, season 2 right now. But yeah, feeling pretty good. Body's finally fully recovered from the holiday fiesta. You know, eating and drinking and celebrating and all that stuff. But all of that love and joy was brought back down to reality at about 4:25 on Sunday after the game. So
yuck.
Good to take a couple days off of drinking and eating a lot. So kind of feeling back to normal.
As we always say on the Citywide Pod, the return to normalcy is here.
Yeah. Who's that again?
Warren G. Harding. We're the official podcast of Warren G. Harding, I'm telling you, man. But
we should get a portrait of him to put on the table.
Yeah, we put it right back there.
Yeah.
Got some space. But yeah, Happy New Year. Thank you again, like I said at the end of last episode, for rocking with the Citywide Pod with your boys. I can't promise you that it's going to get better. It may. Realistically, it's probably going to get worse, but whatever. It'll be just like the Philadelphia Eagles season, which started with a lot of promise. We didn't start with that much promise, but lo and behold, the Eagles' decline was very, very predictable, and the decline of this podcast is probably eerily similar. It's like let me stop.
We're just getting started. This is we're I don't know. I don't know which season the Eagles are most like right now, but I don't know. Something good is on the horizon, I think. I hope. We'll see.
Yeah, I feel good about it. New year, personally, should be good. You know what I mean? We can't let the Eagles bring everything down. So, we control. You know what I mean? Keep the main thing the main thing. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Hey, I kept the main thing in fantasy football, man.
Woo-wee.
Yeah.
A career year.
The double champ.
Won 2 leagues this year. Won the League of Shame, which the 3 of us are in. Ended up beating Chris Gargano in the finals. Shout out, Chris. I beat that ass, though. And then in my other league, the 40 ounces to freedom. Forte ounces to freedom, like Matt Forte, excuse me. Second time I've won that league. And we do a trophy. It's just a bunch of 40-ounce bottles. And nice. I'll get my name just like written on there.
Nice.
So actually hoping to get down to Baltimore January 20th-ish to pick that trophy up. And if I do get it, then you know damn well I'm bringing it here sitting on that table at least once.
Yeah. Gotta put that on display.
Yeah, so... did we do a trophy for our league? We talked about it before, right?
Yeah, we've never done it. We should at some point. We have a trophy for our basketball one, which I will probably never win because I'm just not good at fantasy basketball. But
fantasy basketball I'd say it's much harder than fantasy football.
Yeah,
you're setting lineups almost every day.
Arguably, football is the easiest fantasy out there.
Yeah, fantasy baseball seems incredibly difficult.
Yeah, that seems
too
psychotic.
Many games. Yeah,
I would never.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, you have to be like one of those, you have to be a real sicko to do fantasy baseball, I think. Not for me.
No.
Yeah, we're sickos in other ways, but not like that.
This is true. But yeah, all in all, it's been a pretty rocky ride between last episode and this episode. But we made it to another year. Here we are. It's really that's really it. Kind of same guys, same spot, new year.
So yeah, should we dive right into the birds?
Well, yeah, I gotta turn this hat around. I'm not having this on. Hold up.
Just turn the flap down.
It has to be done.
Yeah.
The Eagles do not deserve to be shown on my head.
Pathetic.
So yeah, let's dive into it. Where do we begin?
Well, we can start with, I don't even know. I mean, kind of that, I feel like that game encapsulated the whole season where it started off looking pretty good. 21-6. You had that nice pick six from Sidney Brown, 99 yards at the house. Offense looked decent enough. I mean, they looked okay. The defense held their own. They did pretty good. Their third down defense was still ass, but their red zone defense looked really good. So I felt optimistic going into the halftime. Like, man, this is great, dude. This is awesome. Had Pat Morgan, his fiance, Anna down for her first game ever at the Link. So we were like, man, what a great experience is this for your first game. Yeah. And then you get out there, and I actually had to go take a shit real quick at halftime, and I heard that and went longer than halftime.
You poop at the Link?
I don't normally, but all that brisket, I think, was just running through me.
Yeah, we were eating good. Shout out to who came through with your dad brought it, but it was who brought
Pat Donnelly. Pat Donnelly brought the brisket. Pat Donnelly's son, another Pat Donnelly, he made the brisket. It was like a 10, 12 hour long smoking process.
I think they said it was like 18
or 18,
if I'm
something
not mistaken.
like that. Maybe it was 12 pounds, 18 hours.
That sounds about right.
Like I said, like I told everybody that comes to the tailgate, you can always guarantee a good time. You can't always guarantee a win. And that was definitely one of those times.
Yeah, we had a great time that day.
We had a really good time. Maybe 30 people were there, so it was a good show out.
I remember at one point, I forget who it was, someone said, like, this could be our last tailgate of the season. So everyone's like, nah, come on, fuck that. It's ridiculous. And
I posted something on my...
Nope, looks like that's actually going to be the case.
I posted on my
glad everyone had a good time.
Yeah.
On my personal Instagram, I posted the picture of us in front of the Link, and I said last, in parentheses, regular season tailgate of the season. Although did I know it's going to be most likely the last tailgate of the season.
Unless somehow we win and then a lower
Dallas
seed beats who they play.
They
Seattle?
play the Cowboys, the Cowboys play the Commanders. I'm sorry, yeah,
right.
Which realistically, the Commanders probably don't stand a chance.
Hell no, especially with Dallas having although it is like not a must win, but a decent enough pressure of a win that I could see Dallas doing some typical Dallas shit where they just lose. But
is that game in Dallas or is it in Washington?
I think it's in Washington. I think they already played.
Cowboys,
because Washington played in Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Oh right. Well, the Cowboys on the road, they're susceptible to fall to
anybody. Yeah. We're getting snow on the East Coast too.
Yeah, that is true.
But I'm not gonna get my hopes up. I think that the way the season's shaken out and the way the history is in the last 12, 15 years in the NFC East, we haven't had a back-to-back NFC East champ since the Birds did it in the early 2000s. So if history likes to repeat itself, which it does, I see Dallas handling their business on Sunday, us probably losing again. So it wouldn't matter what Dallas does, to be honest with you. Much like the second half, nothing could go right.
This is getting ahead, but I think what's going to happen on Sunday is that we're going to come out and it's going to be like, we're going to just be on fire. It's going to be like 4 straight touchdown drives, just getting sacks. Of pass rush is going to be back. It's like, oh shit, everything's back. Slays comes back. He's playing well. Maybe he gets a pick or something. Everything's looking great. And then Jalen Hurts sticks his foot in that awful turf and tears his ACL.
Don't even say that, man.
Yeah.
That deadly fucking turf,
in like the fourth quarter or third quarter.
Yeah, right when it's like, should they take him off? I don't know. We'll leave him for one more series.
You get some rookie coming off the edge and just obliterates him and tears his ACL. Well, again,
then Marcus Mariota leads us to another Super Bowl.
Well, we do love a backup quarterback.
No, it'd have to be Tanner McKee. It'd have to be Mariota would have to get hurt too.
Or they sign outstanding free agent on the market right now.
Who?
Wrapping up his pickleball championship tour. Nick Foles.
For a third time? That would be something.
That would be...
I don't know what he has left, but...
But yeah, second half came around and the wind was just sucked out of the stadium. That was just a very sloppy offensive performance. Defense, again, just was like the three of us could have ran behind that Cardinals O-line. It
was
like.
unbelievable.
I mean, it was just unreal.
Yeah, their offensive line was just bowling our guys, and like you're not used to seeing that. Like you have Fletcher Cox, you have Jalen Carter, Brandon Graham, Josh Sweat,
Jordan Davis, the big run-stopping
Jordan
monster.
Davis has been ass, dude. Brian Baldinger was on the PHLI Eagles podcast.
Mm-hmm.
He straight up said after watching film, he said he doesn't know why Jordan Davis even dressed if that's how he's going to play. Like,
yeah.
He went there.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't hear his name once all game. Except for maybe one stop here and there, but like
Moro Ojimo and Milton Williams are actually playing pretty good.
Moro Ojimo, I liked him when they got him out of Texas. He looked great that game.
Milton Williams had a pretty nice sack and like helped force one of those field goals in the first.
Yeah, they were playing well, but that was about it.
Yeah.
And then linebackers. I know the last week we kind of gassed up Shaq Leonard a little bit. He looked bad, man. It was just kind of sad to watch him like try to shoot the gap, and he's just a half step too late, a full step too late, where he's just getting knocked on his ass because he's just not the player he used to be, not strong enough, not balanced enough. He looks bad. Nicholas Morrow, I thought the 49ers game was his worst game of the year. He got torched again.
Yeah.
James Conner was beating him running routes, and James Conner's not a receiving back.
No.
It was just,
Everything that could go wrong did go wrong. I mean, James Conner, like the James Conner of 4 years ago, he was just torching everybody. But again, it's weird that how Cardinals running backs just historically own our ass. I mean, remember that last game we played them at home? It was a night game.
Oh, the David Johnson game?
Oh, my God.
We were at that game.
Yeah, I was there too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where Kiko Alonso, he just carries Kiko Alonso on his back for 15 yards.
And they had that like 85-yard touchdown run where he juked someone, hurdled somebody. Like, it's like a Madden performance. So, I mean, was it defeating? For sure. But, like, was it surprising? No. I don't think that shocked anybody. It's just...
I think we were all pretty shocked.
I will say when it started to go south, I was surprised. But then by the time I got to the fourth quarter, I was sitting there watching the score. I'm like, it's what they do right now. That's their standard, really, is giving up a shit ton of rushing yards, giving up a bunch of passing yards to a not washed up, but a pretty bad quarterback, especially this year. I mean,
I wouldn't say he's bad.
But I'm saying this year.
It's not a good offense, though.
My point, though, is that you're making these bad teams look good. They had 2 wins on the season. You're at home. It's the last home game of the year, potentially. You had a lot on the line. You have the easiest schedule remaining, and now you decide to give this shit up? The
thing that gets me is you mentioned it's the last home game of the year. It's probably the last home game in Jason Kelsey's career.
Yeah.
Potentially.
I have a hard time seeing him coming back.
And maybe Brandon Graham and Fletcher Cox.
Yeah.
Who knows?
For those guys to go out like that, just disgraceful.
Yeah.
And to lose to Johnny Gans, to Jonathan Gannon.
I know.
To get, like, thoroughly out-coached
Mm-hmm.
by Jonathan Gannon, the guy who just consistently got out-coached in his time as our D coordinator. For it to happen that way, just despicable.
Yeah, man. The Cardinals clearly took the bus to the game. All the Eagles drove.
Yeah.
Did not have the fire in their guts.
Nope.
None of that.
There were no shots.
No explosives.
Pew, 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 pew.
I will say, I mean, it is a bummer because the offense was looking pretty good start of the game. I mean, you had that really that fun trick play out of the faking
that was
the
awesome.
Sneak. Then
almost
Gainwell
killed Devontae Smith, but other than that, it was a great play.
Yeah, I mean, they were looking pretty good, and then it was pretty much all whatever good they did on offense was all neutralized by that. That drive where they had like the 1st and 20, they run like 2 sneaks or whatever. It was a QB draw.
Design QB run and then a QB draw.
Then it was like a read option where Hurts went the wrong way and got tackled for like a 4-yard loss.
It's also a bit of foreshadowing too. I feel like the first drive, you know what I mean? Like defense comes out, I think first, and they stop Arizona. So you're like, okay, not bad. Or maybe the Eagles got the ball first. I think we got the ball first. And you go 3 and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was
3 and out. You can't gain.
Start.
You couldn't get 2 yards
against the worst defense in the league by several statistical. I'm so worked up by several statistical measures.
It just like that. When that happened, I was like,
Good
"This
Lord.
is going to be a long game, man. This is like not. You should be marching up the field. You had all. I mean, the build up and everything else. Being like, we got to come back from this big loss that we had against the fucking whoever we played the week before. let's go get this shit done. Nothing.
Just didn't show up. The defense didn't show up.
Defense, I don't know where they were at all.
Yeah, even
not forced to punt the entire game.
No.
And even the pick six, that was just a lucky play.
Yeah.
It was just a complete miscommunication, and Sidney Brown happened to just be in the right spot. The defense didn't really force that turnover.
No.
It was a sick return.
Yeah,
It was a hell of a return.
Yeah.
Up the sideline, and Byer threw a block or two.
He made a great play after he caught the ball, but to put, like you said, to put himself in that position, I highly doubt that was fucking scheme. Like,
so that brings me to one of my things I have written down here, right? So one of the biggest priorities for a coach is to put their players in a position to succeed and put the team in a position to win. It feels like pretty much all season, but certainly these last 5 weeks, the Eagles coaches have done the antithesis of that. And they've literally been actively harmful in contributing to, in this case, a loss, and last week a potential loss in some ways. And it's just, not only did they not only were they actively harmful in contributing to a loss, they actually got Devontae Smith hurt.
right?
Yeah.
Like, what? Why are you running on 3rd and 19? You're going to run a screen to Kenny Gainwell.
Right.
And have Devontae Smith out there blocking. It should be the other way around.
Yeah.
Right.
Why? Yeah. Every time they have Devontae blocking,
He's not that guy. He's just not
I
that
weigh more than
Yeah. He's scrappy for a little dude, but you don't want him blocking Buda Baker.
No.
You know what I mean? No. And it just, to have that happen and then for him to just get rolled up on, luckily it's a mild ankle sprain, but that looked bad when it happened.
He better
looks
not
like he'll
play
be
next
okay.
week because that ankle is going to be like.
Yeah, he shouldn't play at MetLife now. I would sit him.
No.
But yeah, like, what's the old saying? Add insult to injury.
Mm-hmm.
They just added injury to insult with that play. They're just, the coaches just, I don't know, man. Everything about this is just ridiculous. I have some other notes here. It's like, why is Hassan Reddick dropping into coverage so much?
So much.
Yeah.
He's like 25 yards down the field
It's
every
gotten
play.
so
I'm
much
like,
worse
what are
since
we?
they switched to Patricia.
Yeah.
All these, And of course their explanation for that was like they want to try to be a little unpredictable, but it's like if the cost of being unpredictable is taking arguably your best player on the field and forcing him to do something that he's not good at as opposed to the thing that he's good at, it's like we don't need to do that.
No.
Yeah, just be predictable. It'll probably work.
I mean, you know what team's defense is really predictable? The Cleveland Browns.
You know what team's defense is banging?
Yeah,
Right.
Exactly.
Jim Schwartz, like, he's been doing his thing for years. Everyone knows what he does, but he's fucking good at it. It's like we have this, like, I don't know, it's like the worst of both worlds, where we have this bad scheme, these weird play calls that don't make any sense, and like on top of that, they can't even execute what they're doing. I mean, at least last year, you know, obviously, you know, none of us were really big fans of Johnny Gann's defensive scheme, but at least they were good at executing it.
Right.
Like it, you know,
It
it worked for what it was. This, we don't even have that. It's just like it's bad, and it doesn't even work on its own terms.
No, you don't know who's calling the plays. The players are like, well, we have ownership of the plays sometimes, but it's I don't understand who's calling the shots anymore on defense, and it looks like that. They always look like anytime someone goes into motion that's in the slot and goes just to the left side slot.
Yeah, they look lost.
Well, no one ever follows it, and they're pointing, and then by the time it's like, well, what are we? What's going on right now?
They don't know if they're supposed to be in man, zone, or
Right.
some hybrid coverage, and just everyone just pointing, motioning. There was a couple plays in that game where Vontae Maddox was just out of position, which, two things, right? If it's his first game back, he's playing under a new defensive coordinator, why are you playing him that many snaps and putting him in these bad positions? He doesn't know this defense.
It just felt like they were just like, you know, wanted to rely on him to come in and save the day for them, make him look good or something. And
he doesn't know the defense.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he's not Ed Reed. It's Avonte Maddox. Like, the guy isn't going to come out here and fucking light it up. He's not B-Dog. He's not Ed Reed. He's not Palomalo. You're not really getting that good of a player back. He's a decent player.
He is one of the best nickel corners in the league.
Sure.
To your point, he's not a Hall of
for a guy who
Famer.
hasn't played
For
all
5
year.
weeks he is.
He's not a Hall of Famer either.
But you also don't know if he's that good because he hasn't played a full season in 3 years. So, yeah, he's one of the best nickel corners in the league for the first, when it's warm out. And as soon as it hits, like, what do we play? September, October, fucking mid-October, the dude's MIA. Then he comes back banged up. He does this every year. I don't think I really don't think he's that good of a cornerback, to be honest with you, and not enough to really miss him.
Well, I think the problem with at least watching this game was that they were relying on him to do way too much in a scheme that he's not familiar with.
If he's that good, he'll figure. If he's that good, though, he'll make a play.
And
at least he didn't make a single goddamn play.
He's out of game shape.
Again, my only point though is that I think we're giving him too much credit. I think that sure you might miss a vet on the field, but you're not gaining that much back.
Well, my point is that they didn't put him in a position to succeed either. You're asking him to do too much. And then the other thing too is, where's the leadership in that secondary? You got guys pointing at each other saying, yeah, you go here, you go here, you go there. Yeah. Someone needs to step up and just take accountability. They're all just pointing the finger.
Definitely no Malcolm Jenkins on that squad.
No.
You have two veterans right there in Bradbury and Byard. Neither of them's really stepping up. Like,
Bradbury's too quiet. That guy's kind of a bitch anyway. And Byard's too new to the scheme, well, to whatever this is on
he's
defense.
Starting to figure it out, but yeah.
Slowly but surely, but he hasn't made that big of an impact yet. Reed Blankenship is still fairly new to playing as a starter, so I think you see him still trying to like take it all in. He has great plays. I still love Reed Blankenship, but he hasn't assumed that vocal leader yet. And it's just a weird mix of secondary players. A lot of rookies on that thing, too. You miss Slay a lot out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to put too much onus on that. But, you play the Giants next week. We'll see what happens with that. No matter what, you're guaranteed a playoff spot. So all we can look forward to then really is you get back Slay in the playoffs. You get back Cunningham in the playoffs. That should alleviate some structure issues on that defense, because they did have their best defensive games, albeit not that great anyway, but they looked more effective and functioning as a defense with Cunningham in the linebacker and Slay at secondary. The young guys got some practice in these last couple of weeks, even though it was a shit show totally as a team. You can only hope that takes a little pressure off of Leonard from having to shoot the gap and be that off, because now you got Morrow, Cunningham, and him out there.
Yeah.
So the potential for this team to really have some sort of a spark in the playoffs is there. It's just it's a big if. Yeah. And you don't want to be that team going to the playoffs. You're not a wild card team that snuck in. You're like, well, if we get in, we'll see what happens.
You're a wild card team that limped in.
Right. And you're a wild card team that was in the Super Bowl last year and pretty much had the same roster. The defense, I think, is more optimistic that way of getting players back. The offense is just, that is a huge, huge issue. And I don't get it. I try to look at that every time they line up, and I'm like, all right, what are they going to do? And you can kind of tell what they're going to do anyway, whether it's a screen or a QB draw.
Yeah.
And you just can't do anything but scratch your head. I've never seen anything like it with this much talent.
I was just scratching my head.
I mean, we were just talking about
you didn't notice.
We were just talking about the Pro Bowl selections or whatever just got announced, and it's like pretty much just about every skilled player on the offense is either a starter or an alternate or whatever, and it's like, so we have like this offensive unit full of Pro Bowlers, and somehow they just look like anemic half the time. It's bizarre. I mean, you have two 1,000-yard receivers. You have Swift's having a career year. Hurts will have probably thrown for like 4,000 yards or something.
Probably gonna eclipse 4,000. Yeah,
and they still just like come up short when it matters. It's just bizarre.
Yeah, I mean, the offensive play calling. Obviously, we've ranted about that in the city of Philadelphia pretty much all season, but also just the scheme. They don't really have much of a scheme. They don't have a philosophy. They just line up.
Yeah, it feels like a high school offense.
Don't run any motion. Don't differentiate their formations too much. Don't run any really eccentric passing concepts or exotic passing concepts that make a defense think. It's just, hey, we're going to run. If we get blitzed, Arizona blitzed more than I expected them to. I think Johnny Gans caught on a little bit that the Eagles don't know how to handle a blitz. But their number one reaction to if we get blitzed is we'll throw a screen pass.
Right.
Yeah.
The one play that Hurts did hang on in there against the blitz, where Devontae just overthrew him. Devontae probably still should have caught that ball.
Yeah.
It's like, where has that been all season?
Right.
Yeah.
Just to put that on tape so defenses have to at least respect it.
There's been no come back and then bang, shoot back up the field routes at all. All the route
just like
trees
no
are
like
just
hot routes
are just like
to
my nieces and nephews drew a picture where it's all just like spaghetti lines. Like it's all just there's no cuts, there's no anything. It's just a bunch of like we're gonna
That's
do
a disservice to spaghetti.
I'm just saying, it's just like
Spaghetti's better than this Eagles offense, man.
at least, yeah, I hear you, but like,
it's like I mean, I feel like last year they just like feasted off of slants and like sluggo routes and shit like that, and it's just has not
routes,
been
digs,
right.
yeah, it just hasn't really been featured as much.
All they do are curl routes, screen plays, QB draws, and design QB runs,
and go routes. And go routes. They love a 4 verts. It's like that's me playing Madden.
I know. I was just gonna say that's like when you're playing Madden, it's like fucking 4 verts.
Yeah, someone will be open.
Chug it, yeah.
But it's just, it's surprising if you told like you wouldn't be able to see that this time of year to be able to be like, oh yeah, there's 2,000-yard receivers, 1,000-yard rusher for 2 years.
It's wild.
2 years in a row to have the same kind of stats, but it does not show that on paper at all. I mean, going into the playoffs last year, like, oh yeah, fuck it, like we're good to go. This year, again. Similar to how, like, if those players come back on defense and can kind of gel a little bit, we might feel a little bit better that way. The frustrating part is that the offense has everybody there. Like, there's a chance that, this thing could explode, but it's been 4 weeks now of subpar offensive football.
It's been most of the season.
I
think you're being too generous.
Well, at least the first half of the season, you can kind of blame the
defense.
They
were putting up some points, but they were never convincing.
No, but you had A.J. Brown with 150 yards or 125 with a touchdown in like 4 or 6 straight games. Like the team was moving the ball. We had red zone issues, or we might have had turnover issues with Hurts that, were unfortunate late in the game or midway through the game. But the offense moved, maybe not scoring points all the time, but they did move up and down the field. Now they just... So many 3 and outs, so many just weird plays, so many getting set. It's just mind-boggling. It's frustrating, really, is what it is.
It's very frustrating. It just goes back to what I was saying. The coach's priority, one of their biggest priorities is to put the players in a position to succeed. In the scheme, the system, just none of it is working for the players. That's why you have players pissed off. That's why you have Devontae Smith getting hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. And I guess we can get to A.J. Brown. Right? Like what he said, because there was that talk of him just being upset with Sirianni. This all speculation that he's refusing to speak because he's just pissed off about the offense and what they're running and what they're doing. He came out today and essentially owned up to the Seattle loss, saying we kind of just freelanced at the end of the game. Nick Sirianni said that we were trying to draw a penalty to cover up for us. I don't really buy that. Maybe that's what he said. Maybe that's what Sirianni was actually thinking. But, like, maybe that's what actually happened, but I don't really believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I think A.J. Brown has given us no reason to believe that he's a dishonest person or a, like, showboat kind of guy. The guy, he's a quiet person, for sure.
He loves to blow up on the sidelines, though.
For sure, but it's a passionate game.
Light.
The guy is a perennial Pro Bowl, All-Pro type of player. I mean, when you're not getting the ball, of course you want to be able to contribute to win. That was his main point, was that he likes to win. And when you've been losing a lot, it's fucking frustrating because we're 3 guys in a basement drinking beer doing a podcast saying how frustrating it is to have all that talent and can't score. I can't imagine being those guys with 1,000 yards being like, I get 80 yards a game, I get 50 yards a game, or I'm blocking.
That's fair.
I'm blocking corners 5 times a game. Like, that's not my job. I shouldn't be blocking. That's, no offense, like Dallas Goedert and Calcaterra and all Jack Stoll's job. I'm not supposed to be the one doing that shit, even though I'm husky as fuck and could block somebody. But
yeah, I mean that's the coaches putting him in that position.
Yeah, for sure. But I think that was a great professional move though by him to just come out, address the media, ease that tension. Philadelphia sports media loves to just make a story where there isn't one. Malata was like, he literally took the whole team out for like a whatever, escape the room type of shit. Like, he's trying to get the team to stay together in a weird way. I guess that shit's kind of sucks. Like,
have you guys ever done an escape room?
I was going to ask the same thing.
No, I haven't.
I haven't. No.
We should have a podcast. What do you mean? Fuck no.
Maybe we should do team.
Maybe us. For
sure, we gotta go bond. Dude.
Yeah, we can get a pod team building exercise.
Let's see how it shakes out for these birds.
Have you ever to do anything like that at work? Any kind of like weird like team building?
A lot of axe
bullshit
throwing.
like that.
Yo, you know
Axe
what we
throwing-
should
Yeah, I
do?
feel like axe throwing's a big one.
Here's what we need to do: laser tag.
Oh hell yeah!
Laser
Yeah,
tag.
laser
Where
tag's
can you
banging.
go laser tag around here?
That's a good question.
Do you remember Exhilarama?
King of
Back
Prussia,
in, like,
maybe.
what was Exhilarama?
It was like back on the I think it was right outside the, I want to say the Echelon Mall.
Yeah, that mall's still there. Me and my barber were talking about that the other
it's
day.
like a dead. It's
Yeah,
like
that's what he said.
Ghost town.
He said the food court, there's like 2 restaurants. The rest is just vacant.
Yeah,
That's
but there
an
used to
eerie
be it was either Echelon Mall or Deptford Mall, but
Deptford Mall's
outside-
popping still.
yeah, it's probably the Echelon Mall. But like there used to be this place that was called like Exhilarama that was like this like arcade thing kind of place, but they had like laser tag. It was cool.
I would do
but-
that.
Yeah.
I played laser tag a few years ago with a bunch of adults. It was fun as hell, man. I had a good time. I was sniping people.
Yeah,
It was
there needs
fun.
to be some kind of place like because everybody hits is gone, and I'm just like I've been trying to. Dude, did you see it a while ago that like one of the number one like Google searches in Philly was for batting cages?
Really?
Yeah, and I was like, dude, I'm one of those people. I was literally have Googled like where are the closest batting cages. Because, like, I haven't had a chance to do that. I was like, man, sometimes I just want to hit some fucking baseballs, dude.
Yo,
Like,
Everybody Hits was live, too.
Yeah,
They would do
that place
shows
ruled.
there a lot, too.
yeah, I remember one time I was there for, like, this fundraiser thing, and they just turned the machines on
Oh, I
for
remember.
free
I
all night.
got video
Damn.
of you
I was,
striking out.
I was like, no, I was doing pretty good, though.
You lying.
I was doing pretty, no, I was
The
in there.
truth is revealed.
I was in there the entire, I was, like, just in the, I wasn't
You
really,
must have got him late in the night. That's
I just,
why.
like, wasn't even, like, socializing or anything. I was just in the batting cage.
Yeah, oh, I remember. I was
Like,
there that day.
And I remember I was wearing like a dress shirt too, and by the end of it, like the armpits were totally like ripped. Like I completely ruined my shirt
Damn,
because
you
I
got-
was just hitting baseballs all night.
Damn.
But like, yeah, dude, there needs to be a place like I don't know, you're like in the city or maybe just outside the city that's got like this laser tags, batting cages, maybe some go karts. Like
the
that
only
kind of
batting
thing.
cage I know
There's
in the
gotta be a
city is
place like
South
that
Bowl
around.
has a batting cage.
Wait, really?
South Bowl?
Yeah, they got that
I
little
was just
batting
there
cage out
recently.
there
Nuh-uh.
on the back end. I
Really?
swear to God.
I was just there a few
Indoors?
weeks ago.
It's outdoors.
It's outside.
Well, I'm not just going in a batting cage when it's 40 degrees.
Well, not right now,
Yeah,
but I'm
you
just
gotta
saying.
put those gloves
I'm
on.
saying the literal
Mm.
closest one, if we're talking map wise, is probably that one.
I had no idea they had that there.
Me
Yeah.
neither. South Bowl's all right.
Yeah, I was there a
I'm
few
just
weeks
saying.
ago.
Yeah, it's cold out, so I totally get it. But you know what I mean? You got some trains all year round, Trevor. You got to get out there.
Yeah.
True. But yeah, laser tag. So someone needs to like build a place for adults to go back and just play the games they played when they were kids. We're talking laser tag. We're talking bowling. We're talking pinball. You know what I'm saying? Like I love a good arcade game like that. We're
Do like
talking
pinball.
Papa Shot. Basically,
What's
Dave
Papa
and
Shot?
like where you shoot the basketball.
Oh, like a little
Mhm.
arcade.
Yeah, like we're
basketball
talking
thing.
Dave and Buster's, but they also need to have laser tag, man.
No air hockey though.
Yo, my air hockey game's nice. Yo, we do need to have a podcast night at the arcade.
Hell
We'll
yeah.
take our
Skee ball. I
our-
love skee ball too.
Yo, skee ball's hard. I'm not the best at skee ball, I will admit.
I like skee ball.
Yeah.
But
You do that at garage.
you know what I mean? Little escape
But
the
you guys
room
get the
thing.
run.
I get it, but my only point though is that the media likes to paint AJ Brown as like, oh man, he's being a little whiny brat, this and that. No, he's just everyone's frustrated. But that to me shows more so that there is no true leader in the locker room. Jalen Hurts can say what he wants at the podium, but there's a lot of pent up tension in this locker room or frustration that, we've seen the Eagles teams prior when they were going Super Bowl runs or playoff runs, and they kind of never let that show. And this team has been exposed a lot that way, where you've let the media now kind of write their own narrative of these guys in locker room.
Mhm.
Is it the players? Is it the coaches? The coaches aren't like that's not good. You're not united then going into the playoffs, which is a recipe for disaster.
So I guess moving forward, what do you think happens? Suppose what seems likely to happen is they'll go in as the 5 seed. Maybe they win against the NFC South winner and they lose in the next round. Let's say that happens. That seems like it's most
Yeah.
likely. I would think they can beat the NFC South winner, but you never know with this team. But assuming that's what happens, at the end of the year, they didn't make it to the Super Bowl. It's a disappointing season. What do you think happens as far as like coaching staff? What do you think? Most players are going to be back, except the ones that are probably retiring or free agents. But in terms of coaching staff, in terms of management, like what happens?
I mean, I think, obviously, I mean, you can say what you want about Sirianni, and obviously a lot of people are like kind of pissed off at him right now. But like realistically, like he's not going anywhere. Like, the team's made the playoffs each year he's been here. As far as the rest of the coaching staff, I mean, I think on the defense they need to just clean house. Like, I mean, that is just a poorly coached unit, top to bottom. Obviously, they have no answer right now as for the defensive play caller. I think they definitely need to bring someone else in, and even just like the other, coaches underneath that tree, I think need to be replaced too. The offense is where it gets kind of like tricky. Like, I mean, I wouldn't really be, as much as people have been complaining about Brian Johnson, I wouldn't really be surprised if he was back. But like, I don't know. I mean, what I would like is for them just to bring in like a new offensive coordinator who's going to just be like running their offense, which I think like, obviously like Nick Sirianni's whole thing is he's an offensive coach. Like he wants to like run the offense, but it's like at this point we've seen like before he handed off the play calling to Steichen, and then after he kind of like took it back over, like he's not literally calling the plays, but it's back to like, I feel like I've seen enough of the Nick Sirianni offense. You know what I mean? Just like the overall scheme that like, I don't know. I just want like some fresh eyes and just let Sirianni handle all the, all the interpersonal stuff and everything else that a head coach does. Yeah. But like, I want to see a new offense. I'm not confident that's going to happen, but
I think they got to gut everybody, like you said, except for Sirianni. I think Sirianni does stay. I think he's more, I mean, is a good coach this year. I think he was an excellent coach last year, but could be exposed by the coordinators that he had last year. But I think they need to gut every OC, defensive coordinator, assist. Everybody's got to go. I mean, this year we kind of, after all that came out, that Gannon kind of like, did the whole shitty thing and we lost out on Vic Fangio, was it?
Yeah, yep.
So this is kind of like a past job at defense where high hopes for Desai. He had a great year with Seattle with those young Bucks over there, and they looked decent. Nothing too super impressive, though, I will say, and not enough to come back. Again, with this talent, you have a lot of rookies and young guys. This is your one chance, because if you have one more year with Desai and it doesn't work out, well, now you've wasted 2 years of these guys' careers, and now a second coach comes in, they're in their third year. Like, do it now, get it quick, get it over with, rip the Band-Aid off, clear house. Don't give Patricia another shot. I would get rid of everybody, and everybody on the offense. Everybody.
Except Jeff Stoutland.
Well, okay, I'm talking, obviously Stoutland's a stable guy.
Everyone else.
The two guys whose jobs are 100% secure are Jeff Stoutland and Dom DeSandro.
Well, yeah. I'm just saying, obviously,
they're not going anywhere.
Stoutland, I just meant people that are involved in, he does the running,
the running
assistant
game,
stuff, but
O-line,
obviously he's been fine. He had back-to-back 1,000-yard rushers behind his O-line, so I'm not too concerned with him, but anything related to the pass, Brian Johnson, I think, is ass. I think he shouldn't even deserve a coordinator job anywhere else right now. He needs to take a year off and recontemplate shit. Maybe look at accounting or other shit like that. I don't know. Football's his bag.
Become if you're telling me that
along with you were an offensive,
Miles Jack came
He's
back.
Playing, yeah. Like, fuck, dude. Like
he saw what was going down. He said, "Fuck this shit."
Yep, I was thinking the same thing. He saw in preseason. He was just thinking, "Yeah, you know what? This ain't it. This team's going to be a dumpster fire this year. I'm going to quote unquote retire and then end up back with the Steelers."
He said, "This team looks like shit. I'm going to be a plumber," and then quit the plumbing shit. Yeah. Anyway, I just think that they need a fresh off. Honestly, I think they need a more mature offensive coordinator, because I think Sirianni could benefit. I know he wants to still do some offensive play calls and things like that, but I think he would benefit from not saying bring this guy in, Frank Reich, but a more veteran leader, maybe a former player, to kind of help calm that nerve, keep him a little more composed. I'd like to see Sirianni be more of a head coach, to Trevor's point, and less of a fanatic and a fan. Love the passion. I love it when you're 8-0, whatever you want. You want to fucking high-five the fans and go crazy, cool. But he hasn't really been able to kind of keep the team together after these back-to-back runs like that. And I think that just shows a lack of maturity, and I think he could benefit from a more savvy offensive coordinator. Defensive coordinator, I don't know who they get. There's a lot of teams out there that are going to have new head coaches, and they're going to be picking everybody apart. So an early playoff exit would benefit the job hunt, but I think everybody below Sirianni has to go.
Yeah, I'm actually right there with you. I think that if anything, the last few weeks have kind of shown us that Matt Patricia is not coming back.
No.
Nah.
If there's one positive, if there is a silver lining, we know he's not going to be the D coordinator.
Nor his pencil.
Right. on the plastic sheet. That's what cracks me up. He doesn't have any paper out there.
It's so
What's he
stupid.
write with it? It's just for show.
Well, yeah, so he's not coming back. I think if you start looking at like the defensive positions and their coaches, whoever is coaching our secondary has done a horrible job.
Terrible
if you have
job.
guys like pointing the finger, like we said before,
Yeah.
if there's no leader in like as far as a player in your secondary, the coaches have to take over. They haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever's coaching our linebackers, they haven't had much talent to work with, but should be a little better. You know what I mean? The defensive line that should be really good. I get it. Some of these guys are gassed. Who's our defensive line coach? He's that pitcher. He's Kumar Rocker's dad.
The
I
big
don't
dude.
know.
Yeah.
He's like
Harold
a bigger
Rocker,
guy.
I think his name
He's
is.
been here for a little while though.
But yeah, his message might not be getting through. He might need to go pitch or be his son's pitching coach or something. Not getting the job done. Offensively, Stoutland stays. Wide receivers coach, I don't think he stays. You hear A.J. Brown saying, yeah, we were freelancing.
Right.
While the wide receiver coach has to reel these guys in.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah,
goes to
you're not
Sirianni
staying.
too again though. If you're a wide receiver coach at heart, how are you not?
That too, yeah.
You should be stepping in for that. Then you got a potential Hall of Famer type of wide receiver in AJ Brown,
I think he's on a Hall of Fame trajectory.
and you
yeah.
have a All-Pro perennial guy on the precipice of that with Devontae Smith. You're wasting these guys' careers. You're wasting the tail end of mid to late years of AJ Brown and the prime years of Devontae Smith. Why? That's your bread and butter.
Yeah.
And you can't. And you got Julio Jones. Shout out to him for getting 2 touchdowns. But like,
they ruined
goddamn,
the Julio game.
you literally
too.
have like.
I know.
It's
fuck.
it makes no sense. But yeah, I think everyone's on the child block except for Sirianni and
Yeah.
Stalin, obviously.
Yeah, so I won't go through all the offense positions. I think the running back coach, Jamel Singleton, he's done a pretty good job. Stoutland's done fine.
Which I'd be
I don't
curious
even know
to
who
see.
the tight end coach is. I don't really feel any type of way about him.
I think the tight end position doesn't really need. I don't think that's hindered. I think it's more so just the offensive play callers have to go, the defensive play callers have to go. When you get down to like positional shit,
Some of those position coaches need to go.
secondary
but not
for sure,
everyone
but
does.
tight end like Goddard. You know what I mean? Like the tight ends do decent. I think they could ebb and flow with whoever's in there.
Yeah.
Goddard's still going to be a kind of Pro Bowl perennial kind of guy. Not too worried about him. There's only so much he can really do, especially with
Right.
these routes that they're running out here anyway.
Yeah, no other good tight ends. He's the only one.
Right. Defense, every single person. I mean, linebacker coach, you could throw that on not enough players, but you need to get rid of everybody. Bring in some. I think veteran leadership go a long way.
Yeah, I
from
think
a
they
coaching
need to
perspective.
they need to bring in advisor types,
Yeah.
right? Well, we need to bring in a defensive coordinator that knows experience, but offensively, yeah, we should definitely bring in a new offensive coordinator, but also need to bring in some sort of advisor.
Could be Frank Wright.
Wouldn't be a bad idea. Him and Sirianni have that connection. I don't really know who else is available out there right now. I guess Joe Brady,
You'll see
but
more
I
and
don't
more
really
as
want him. Josh McDaniel, I don't really want.
hell no. No.
But like what I'm saying is they need like a veteran that's kind of established that has run a decent offense or two. It's not Josh McDaniel though by any means.
Well, who's the cat that just got fired from? The thing is, a lot of head coaches have been getting canned left and right. You got the guy Brandon Staley from Chargers, who at least
Sirianni's going to try to bring
Could
him
be-
in as D
he's at least
coordinator.
I wouldn't. I mean, for a defensive coordinator, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world.
He's
I mean,
an
he's definitely
asshole.
not heavy a dog shit head coach, but
again younger guy, so maybe not. I don't know. I would love to bring in like an old head because this defense.
Bring back Jim Schwartz. Like we're not.
I
getting Jim
wish
Schwartz
he'll get a
back.
head coaching job after
Yeah.
this season, but I just think that defensively you do better with a, Dan Quinn kind of older fashioned kind of aggressive, especially with the way that we have this defense built up to be. It's in the front seven, not the back.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the defensive, not to get too far into like off-season things, but the defensive philosophy needs to change from the top, right?
Yeah.
So we talked about a couple weeks ago that they just consistently devalue the linebacker position.
Mhm.
You know who the two best teams in the NFL are? the 49ers and the
Baltimore.
Baltimore Ravens. You know what they have?
Great linebacker.
Really good linebackers.
I wanted Queen too when he came out of LSU. I liked him a lot.
I mean, we were talking about him in training camp before he extended with them.
Yep.
Like, so that's one thing that needs to change is this isn't so much coaching, but it's Howie and Jeffrey Lurie realizing, hey, we've devalued this position for years, but you know what? Really good teams have really good linebackers. So we don't need to overpay for the position, but we can't go in here thinking Nick Morrow and Zach Cunningham, guys we're picking up in training camp, are going to be the answer.
You can't rely on free agents alone. I mean, you've built the defense right now. You had, 2 or 3 secondaries in the rookies in the secondary, 2 or 3 up front from the D-line. I don't really count Nolan Smith as a linebacker. Nakobe D didn't shake out the way you wanted him to, but I think you got to go out there and get, whether it's in late first round or early second, that's the move to go. You still got a great receiving core. You should keep Swift. Your O-line's looking decent, but they've been finding those guys in the 3rd, 4th round, and Stoutland can make them turn into Pro Bowlers.
Yeah.
You got to go out there in 1st, 2nd round and get yourself a nice big linebacker ASAP. And then you can bring in the support cast of a, savvy vet like, Cunningham or Morrow or whoever else you want to bring in to help coach those guys up. But, yeah, we haven't really had to go linebacker like that since Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we let him go.
And that was almost 10 years ago, like we said before.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, looking at the offseason after we get eliminated mercifully, hopefully it's sooner than later, that's the biggest thing I feel like needs to change. But we'll see, man. I don't think I really have a whole lot else on the Eagles.
I don't even know if it's even worth doing predictions. We got to wrap it up, I guess, since we've done
Yeah, let's wrap
so
it up.
far.
So, yeah, Eagles-Giants. What is the line on this game? I don't have it written down. I think it was Eagles -6.
Yeah, I don't know.
Which is...
I haven't looked at it.
Kind of makes sense. I mean, a couple weeks ago when we played the Giants, it was Eagles -14.
Yeah. And they
Vegas
also could be trying to rest some guys. We don't really know.
Vegas is getting smarter. Personally, I don't care what happens in this game. People get hurt, and no, I don't want them to be hurt for next season, actually. I don't want them to be hurt for their careers or for their money or for whatever it may be. So, yeah, but people could get hurt. It's that MetLife field. I would keep a close eye on that Cowboys game if I'm the Eagles. And if the Cowboys are up 21-0 at the half, then you sit all your guys at the half. And that's that. Get ready, get well. Hope you can make some noise in the playoffs. I do think that the Giants win. Just because the Eagles might not have anything to play for after halftime. I've got it Giants outright, 24-19. We get the 5 seed, and we face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
I'm going to go with 27-24. It's so hard to pick who I think is going to get that score, though, in the win or loss. I'm going to go 27-24 Eagles. I got to go Eagles, and I'm only going to say that because I feel like as though it could go first half. Maybe the offense has a little bit of a, buzz. They're up, 17 to, 10 or whatever. Second half, I think no matter what, maybe like a preseason kind of game, maybe the third quarter a little bit. I think we see a lot of Mariota. They find a way to get, a couple more points, so it makes it 27. Okay. But I think 27-24 Birds.
I'll go 24-21 Eagles.
Damn, y'all picking us still after that debacle.
It's
still the Giants. Well, I mean, it was the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know.
Blind loyalty at this point. It's just,
I can't be mad at you. All right.
Well, I guess that just about wraps up
the
Birds.
We're done.
Yeah.
I don't have anything else to say about that.
Although we talk about the Birds, that we just ended with a solemn just break and noise.
Yeah.
27-24. I think the Birds are going to win this game.
Yeah.
Pour one out. Trevor's basement.
Not on the carpet, yeah. So what else do we want to move on to? I guess not too much. I mean, the Flyers, kind of a step back here.
I'm rocking a Flyers
road
hoodie.
trip.
Yeah.
The dreaded Disney on Ice road trip. It's always tough for whatever reason. All the way on the West Coast. Started off with a great win against the Canucks. They did
they
just
pantsed
bulldozed
them.
them. Another shorthanded goal. They were just completely outplaying them. That was fun to watch.
The best offensive team in the league. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were here for that game, no?
Yeah, that was after we
they
recorded
scored
last week.
3 in a row in like 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, I remember I went home and listened to the end on the radio. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, this game's lit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But, after that, pretty rough. They lost in, what was it? They lost in overtime against the...
Detroit?
No, it was out west. It was the Kraken.
No, right.
They lost to Dave Hackstall. Oh, my God, that guy. And then they lost to the Flames on New Year's Eve, which I was in bed.
Yeah, no one was on.
We were all pissed off about the Eagles. We didn't give a damn about the Flyers. No disrespect, Flyers.
I was tripping on shrooms. I didn't see that.
Same.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know.
And then most recently, they got smoked by the Oilers.
Yeah.
I watched some of that game. Connor McDavid is... that guy is insane,
Dirty.
dude.
Yeah, hopefully he'll finally be able to escape the Edmonton Oilers. I think he's a free agent after this year. So, yeah.
But they come home to the Blue Jackets.
Blue Jackets
Y'all are
tomorrow.
going to the game
I'll be
tomorrow.
at the
Yeah,
game
I'll be
tomorrow.
I'm not.
Damn.
Man.
You'll be at the game, so hopefully they whip it back into gear. Take the top Philly sports team back. No, I'm kidding. We'll see what they do. Looking forward to it. First game of the year. They'll probably lose since I'm there, but
the Blue Jackets are
Yeah, the Blue Jets
very,
are,
very bad.
They're an abject disaster, man.
I'm just saying.
yeah.
What I will
So are the Cardinals.
Yeah. Yeah.
What I will say is that the Flyers' schedule does kind of soften up here a little bit. They've got some home games, which notably, I think I heard this on the PHLY Flyers podcast last night. The Flyers, their power play on the road is 3 for 56.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
That's horrible.
Even if their power play was just kind of like even if it was just a bad power play, that would be okay. But it's like the worst
It's
power
like
play
historically
ever.
bad, dude.
Yeah,
Like
it's
that's
pretty
a
unbelievable.
5.4% on the road. And like overall for this season, they're 10.8, so that tells you that their home power play is a lot better, but still nothing to write home about.
Yeah.
But yeah, how are you 3 for 56?
That's bad.
You would think you would luck into a goal.
I know.
Especially in hockey.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do it
just
so
pure-
often during the regular time before, without a penalty
even
time.
if like you can't move the puck around well and you don't have a good system set up, even if you're just taking point shots, like you'd think at some
One's
point
gonna, like,
a few of those are going to
ricochet
deflect
in.
in or
Yeah.
something. But just they just can't get anything going. All I'll say is next year, Cutter Gauthier.
Yo, he's been pucking.
Yeah,
Instead of saying
World
hooping, well, hold up.
Pucking.
We got to introduce everyone to my vernacular. So when someone's balling in football, you say he's balling. When someone's playing well in basketball, you say he's hooping. So my vernacular, when someone's playing well in hockey, you say he's pucking.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's consistent.
Cutter Gauthier's been pucking in juniors.
Yeah, I think
been pucking.
he's leading the whole tournament in points.
Yeah, I think
He's been racking up assists too,
I think
which is
I
nice
saw
to
he
see.
has
'Cause
9 assists.
yeah, because I mean, like the one knock against him is like, well, he has this amazing shot, but it's like he going to be, being able to play center in the NHL and distribute and be a playmaker, and it seems like he's answering that a little bit. I mean, World Juniors is, those kind of tournaments, it's kind of hard to take things away from him because like all of a sudden he's playing on a line with like the best of whoever, I guess other players in the, he's on the United States team, but yeah, it's good to see. He's definitely made some impressive plays. I'm looking forward to seeing him up here next year.
Yeah,
If not during the, could potentially come up for a playoff run. I don't think that's going to happen, but I don't think he'll peak. I don't think he'll come up.
I was going to say, you don't think we're making the playoffs?
Yeah, they very well could, but I don't know if he's going to join us because he's probably going to go pretty far in the college playoffs and all that kind of stuff. But yeah,
More important than the NHL playoffs for sure.
yeah, the Frozen Four, baby, Boston College.
Hey, man. Well, back to like what I was saying before is their schedule does lighten up, so I think their playoff chances are going to get a nice little boost. Play the Blue Jackets tomorrow. You'll all be there. Then on Saturday, they play the Flames at 1 o'clock. That's a West Coast team playing an early game. The Flames, even though they did beat us, aren't great. You know what I mean? Then Monday, play the Penguins at home, who we've already talked about them on this podcast.
Mm-hmm.
They look kind of washed, don't look particularly great. And then they get the Canadiens looking ahead to next Wednesday, also at home. So they've got a homestand here where they play.
Nice home stretch.
For a while, they were playing better on the road, but I think it's fair to say that most teams are going to play better at home. And they've got this nice little homestand here to make up for the cursed Disney on Ice road trip.
Yeah.
Disney can kiss my ass on Broad Street.
Yeah.
But
put that shit somewhere else.
I mean Disney in general, not even just Disney on Ice. I don't particularly dig on Disney. But my point being is that the Flyers have an opportunity here to make up some ground against not great competition. I kind of think that they do. Power play probably doesn't get it together, but maybe that home cook can get some of the guys playing well again.
The home crowd is always a fun crowd to be behind, too.
I just remember there was a very funny Torts moment. I think this was after the...
Oh, I do. I know what you're talking about.
He was after the Calgary game or the one before that when he's in like the scrum and this one reporter, I don't know who it was, but he was like, so there's some pretty impressive play from Tyson Forster, and he starts saying, and then Torts is like, not really. It's just like, no, he actually wasn't playing that well.
Yeah, Torts is the man, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Mishkov's been back for a couple weeks now. He's been looking good.
I haven't been following him. Okay.
I don't know if we really talked about him at all last week, but
I don't think so.
He's on a pretty incredible season in the KHL. I think people were saying that his for a draft +1 season, his like points per game is like blowing out the record.
Holy
Like
shit.
I think he's averaging like 0.85 or something.
Really?
Something like that.
Jeez.
And like I think like the next one down is, I forget who it is, but or who it was or whatever, is like 0.73 or something like that. It's like he's just like really, really impressive for draft +1 year.
So some might say this kid.
He's about to be pucking, dude.
Yeah.
He already is pucking. He'll be pucking for the orange and black.
Russia.
Represent.
How you say pucking in Russian?
3 years. I don't know if it's a direct translation.
No, we can find it. We got to do some research.
They probably have some vernacular like mine, dude.
Yeah, something like that. But, good things ahead for the Flyers. We'll see. So I guess we can move on to...
We can hit the Phillies real quick.
Oh, yeah. Hasn't been much to talk about there.
But Chris Sale signing with the Braves traded for him.
Yeah.
They traded Marquise Grissom. Or, not Marquise Grissom, I think, is his dad.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like an
Marquise Grissom was an OG, man. He was nice. I used to play with him in whatever it was before MLB The Show. He was nice. But they traded his son to the Red Sox for Chris Sale. Y'all remember Chris Sale, right?
Oh, yeah. He was on he was on like the White Sox. He was really great.
He was on the Red Sox for a while, too.
Yeah.
So
definitely past his prime, but I mean, it's a good depth starter for them.
I don't think it really moves the needle.
Mm-mm.
He was 35 last year. He's older than me. Damn. And he's dealt with a bunch of injuries. He was 6-5 with a 4.3 ERA, and his FIP, his fielding independent pitching was 3.8, which was the worst of his career. They can have him.
Yeah.
I'm glad they gave up a prize prospect for him too, no less. I don't really understand their offseason.
I don't know, but I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
I'll take it.
Whatever.
But the other Phillies note I had, I don't think I put this in the rundown. I added this late to my notes, was apparently the Phillies have increased their scouting in Japan. Even though they aren't going to get Yamamoto, they did offer him $300 million.
Mm-hmm.
So, they are serious about picking up some Japanese pitcher. I'm probably going to butcher this guy's name. Shota Iminaga. Oh, I did pretty good. How about me?
That sounds all right.
We don't know if he did good or not. I mean,
it sounded nice.
I think that sounds good. That's from playing a lot of video games with Japanese people, I guess. Not playing with them, but Japanese characters in the game. I guess I don't even know why I just said that. Whatever.
I hope we got the hand with you, not playing with them, but
whatever. But yeah, so anyway, he was 7-5 with a 2.66 ERA and a 1.01 walks hits per innings pitched in the Japanese league. That seems pretty good.
Yeah, it seems good to me. I mean, I don't know who he's.
Yeah.
pitching against stat-wise, but
Whatever.
He's pitching against the same guys Yamamoto's pitching against, I believe.
all right. Well, I'll take that. That sounds good. I don't know if we got to offer them $300 million, but
Nah, I don't think
maybe
they will. He's a little older than Yamamoto. He's 30.
yeah, all right.
Yamamoto's like 26, I believe.
Well, if they got some scouts over there and looking at these guys that they want to play with in Philadelphia, then I think that's a good thing they should be looking to do.
Yeah, I would agree. I think, what do we need? We have Nola, Wheeler.
Suarez should be back healthier.
You have Ranger.
What's the other?
Why
Walker?
am I drawing a blank?
Walker.
Yeah, Walker will be back,
still
even
around.
though he was on Twitter talking shit at the end of the year.
Who's that young buck that came in at the playoffs but then did pretty good?
Oh, Chris Sanchez.
Nah. The
The
dude.
reliever?
Huh?
Kirkering?
Kirkering. Well, he's not
Yeah,
he's not
yeah.
a starting pitcher.
Yeah, I think they still kind of need like a number 5 / like quasi 6 starter.
Painter won't really be back.
Now
at all.
Painter's if he's back, it'll be at the end of the year.
Yeah, right.
He'll probably miss
Then
most of the
they
season
need
at least.
one more.
Yeah, so maybe it's Imanaga. We'll see. He'd be the most famous Japanese Philadelphian.
That'd be a good call out to do it in January 3rd, to call out a relatively unsung Japanese pitcher.
Hey, I'm going there. He will become the most famous Philadelphian Japanese player.
Yeah,
Right?
I
We
think
talked
that-
about
right.
this.
Yeah,
the Phillies
you're-
are
I mean,
number
yeah.
7.
it's not a particularly high bar.
No, I
but
didn't
he
think.
could
Yeah,
do
no.
it.
I think he will.
I have faith
Yeah,
in him.
I think he's
Right.
got it in him.
No other Philly team. The Eagles, like, the Sixers never had anyone Japanese. There's some Japanese players in the NBA. I don't
couldn't
think there's a
name you
single
one
Japanese
Eagle.
player in the NHL.
No
It's like there
NHL.
is. What's that guy Suzuki on the Canadiens? He's kind of He's part Japanese, I remember.
Yeah, I mean,
Nothing on the Flyers, though, at least. And nothing on
Yeah.
the Birds.
Yeah. Well, hey, Imanaga, man, come home. That's all I got.
come home to Philadelphia.
Come home, the furthest. Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
like that intel.
We'll see. I'm sure they'll make some kind of move before the
They
season
got
starts.
to. Well, the fact that they were going to throw $300 million at Yamamoto, at least they got
They're serious about it.
at least
Yeah.
they got money out there in the bank. They're ready to shell out. So
Throwing that money around.
yeah. And
Yeah.
worst case scenario, you bank on Snell. Isn't he still out there?
Mm,
I know we might not be biggest fans, but worst case scenario, they would probably pull the trigger on
I
a
mean,
guy
there's
like
a reason
him.
he's still out there. Everyone's skeptical,
Yeah,
which
But-
I am too.
I think that about closes out the Phils, though.
Yeah, not really much else to talk about there. But the Sixers, Joel Embiid comes back, casually throws up a triple-double, 31 points, does not play the fourth quarter again. Crazy.
That boy, good dude.
He's
Was
good.
it
He's
his
pretty
15th
good.
game in a row now? 14th game? 15th, I
I
think.
think it's the 15th.
15th.
I lost count.
Because I think Kareem had 17 in a row.
Yeah, he's approaching the
So
record.
he's close to Kareem. I think Wilt had.
No, I think Kareem's got the record.
Kareem does have the
Yeah,
record.
or I think maybe him and Will are tied, but he's probably going to break that record.
Oh, him and Kareem, I think, are tied or at least off by one. But Wilt did his in like 63 games, or they have his are like they have like an even smaller bracket of what he did in
Gotcha.
it. But I think Embiid's gonna be. I mean, he's still gonna doing it whatever. But unreal.
Yeah, they missed him. Clearly, the team missed him.
Well, all those games that they lost while he was away, they didn't get blown out. It was like, yeah, if Embiid played, those were wins right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the one thing that Nick Nurse has really done is he's just made them such more of like a fluent offense
Mhm.
with Embiid, but certainly we even saw it without him. The game Maxey
Yeah.
scored 42. They put up 130 some points on the Houston Rockets, which is one of the best defenses in the league. They made it look easy. But with Embiid, certainly you see like his game just adds so much more of an element because teams have to respect him when he's on the perimeter. If he's down low, they're going to double team him, or they might try to double team him. He's going to kick it out. Even him running a fast break.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day, I used to dread it. You'd see Embiid grab a rebound and start dribbling up court in
yeah.
traffic,
Oh my God.
and it just, oh man, this is going to be a turnover.
Either
Now he runs a
turnover-
fast break and gets out of his hands, and we saw a bunch yesterday.
Yep.
Wide open threes because of it.
He's getting those assist numbers up, which is good to see that way because he gets the ball out to an effective shooter or to someone that's actually open. I mean, Oubre had 13 points in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had some nice assists last
Yeah.
night. Like,
Yo,
it's
the
wild
no look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The no look to Toby, their first 10th assist.
In the dunk spot. Yeah, that was wild. I mean, it's crazy that he's been able to add that to his game. I mean, every year he's just somehow is able to add something else. And, you never really thought it was going to be, the distributing like that. It just, I don't know. I never thought I was going to see that. But, yeah, he just somehow just gets better and better every year. It's wild.
I think he
like
watched
fine wine.
I think he watched Jokic go on his playoff run. And was
like,
thinking, I can do that. And then he just went out and started doing it.
He just went on YouTube and Googled white people passing.
That's so funny, man. When he first came in the NBA, when he said, everyone asked him, how'd you learn how to shoot like that? You can shoot like that in college. I just went on YouTube and looked up white people shooting. He's the man, dude.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I feel like we do really take him for granted. Like, I'm just like hoping it lasts as long as it can, because I mean, once at some point in a few years, we're gonna turn on the TV and there's gonna just be some guy playing center, just like like a Jonas Valanciunas or even like a Nurkic type, who are fine players.
Yeah,
but it's just like
not.
What we're seeing is just like generational and special, and like I don't know. I mean, it sucks that we haven't had the playoff success that we'd like to, but it's just like every once in a while you have to like take a step back and be like, holy shit!
Just appreciate the greatness of this player.
Yeah,
7-foot center doing absolute bonkers shit on the court consistently.
Yeah,
I mean, this is like I don't know.
This is 4 years in a row that he's just been at that MVP level and has gotten better every one of those 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, this rate looks like I mean, if he's able to get the games in, it's his award to lose.
Yeah, and stay healthy, knock on wood. I mean, he hasn't, except for his time off the court, he hasn't given anybody a reason not to get that award again so far. I mean, his campaign is coming on strong, big time. The potential to beat that record is definitely there, especially when he's gotten these 14 games in a row. I feel like 10 of those he hasn't played the fourth quarter. So, like, he's well
rested.
Yeah, I mean,
did you see last night in his little like post game interview?
No, he was like, funny. I got to kick out of this.
Sometimes you got to pad the stats. It's good to pad the stats.
It's like stats only matter when you win, but sometimes you do want to pad them. That was funny.
Only 3 quarters of play.
Yeah, Troel.
Yeah, he's the man, dude. But I mean, it's good to have him back. The team certainly missed his presence offensively, defensively. You could tell Maxey was really glad to have him back. Maxey was playing much more freely.
Yep.
Toby was playing pretty well the last couple weeks without him, but Toby was playing pretty good. Kelly Oubre really felt his impact.
Batum was a starter yesterday too. He's on the court.
Yeah, so they had like with Embiid and Oubre both playing, they haven't lost a game yet. So they both stay healthy, man.
Yeah, we're
finals bound, baby.
Yep. Yes, sir. But what did I have on the Sixers here?
I think to your point though, Avery, too, where like as a joke you were like, oh yeah, he probably looked at like Jokic in the playoffs and get the championship and be like, oh, I can do that. I feel like it wasn't so much of like I can do that, more of like I need to do this, because you can see you can see the team in the playoffs that we've been the last couple of years. Like if he's not in there, the team relied so much on, all right, we need to facilitate through Embiid, but now he's made defenses have to respect everybody on the court because he's been able to find. Last year,
that's a very good point.
There were so many passes where he would like shoot in the corner and nobody would even be there. It's like, what the? But now that he's perfected or at least refined his passing accuracy, it's incredible. And they did build a good team around him with shooters and other guys that can shoot the three and all that shit. But I think to your point and Trevor's point too, like he watches YouTube videos or like weird videos or VHS tapes of Hakeem Olajuwon to like
PCR.
And just do it. But to learn, I mean, when he did, he was like, yeah, it's all learn my Euro step. But like, yeah, he just is a sponge, and he probably was like, I got my MVP, if I'm gonna get to the promised land, I have to elevate my game again. And he's done it year over year, and those are things that you need to do as a championship caliber player. And I think that he's done his job.
Yeah.
So far, at least in that aspect.
Yeah, now it's on Daryl Morey to do his, right?
Yeah.
So the big NBA trade went down, I guess it was New Year's Eve or the day before New Year's Eve.
Mm-hmm.
OG Anunoby traded from the Raptors to the Knicks I won't get into like everyone that went in that trade.
R.J. Barrett, that was the big
Yeah,
one,
R.J.
right?
Barrett and
Yeah.
Emmanuel Quickly,
Quickly.
Maxey's boy. Him and Maxey played in Kentucky together.
Kentucky.
And R.J.
But,
Barrett goes back to Canada.
Yeah, he goes home. But yeah, OG Anunoby goes to the Knicks. He was our, if not probably the most targeted trade target for the Sixers, certainly among them. So like, what do y'all think that means for the Sixers now? I mean, he would have been a great fit. I wouldn't have done it for the amount that they ended up giving up, and wouldn't have been crazy about extending him after this year since he's an expiring contract. But do y'all think there's another move out there?
I think there's always a move out there before the deadline, obviously. I think that it at least is okay, now that someone poked a hole in the dam for Toronto, where teams that are like, oh, we're going to sell these guys, and then sometimes they get to the thing or they win like 5 games in a row and then they end up not trading anybody, where now kind of anybody on that team is available. I know that there's rumors of Siakam going to, the Lakers and all that shit, but I think that would be, you have a good person to run that campaign with Embiid and him, being that they're both from wherever they're from.
Cameroon.
So you got that connection. I think he would fit well on this team. Plus you got the Nick Nurse connection. Obviously not needed for a player like that, but could be enticing at least. Could be an interesting move. A deadly potential lethal move, if you bring him on. They have to give up a decent amount, but I don't know. I don't know who would be the next big target for them, but I don't think it really hurts
There's no one that
as
really
well.
like jumps out at me where it's like that's the obvious guy. Like
I got one.
okay,
Yeah, Scary Terry. Terry Rozier, he's been balling, dude.
yeah,
I could see
I was
that.
I was on Twitter last night watching some random NBA highlights against the Kings. Scary Terry was hooping, dude. So like the last week, I was complaining about how when Embiid sits, it's just Maxey and no one else to create offense.
True.
Scary Terry is a smallish guard. He's about the same size as Maxey, like 6'1", 200 pounds. But this dude is a hooper, man. I got it written down here. For this season, he's averaging 24 points, 7 assists, 4 rebounds, and shooting 36% from 3 on 7.5 attempts a game.
Damn.
I didn't realize that, and I started scrolling through Twitter and I saw this. I'm like, I wonder what he's doing this year.
Damn.
So
Who's he with yet?
he's on Charlotte.
Still,
the Hornets,
yeah.
So the advantage to him is he probably wouldn't be thrilled about being a 6 man if he's putting up these numbers. But if he's playing on a winning team,
Contender. He played with a
he
contender
is.
at least, or I should say a playoff team at least. Yeah.
So the advantage to that is you could run identical sets with him and Embiid as you could with Maxey and Embiid. So when Maxey
True.
sits, you don't lose a beat. You have this guy coming off the bench dropping 20 points a game, and Kelly Oubre can give you another 10, 15 points off the bench. The depth just becomes so much better.
Yeah, I think that the more logical thing, like to what you're saying, is that whatever move they do make is going to be for a more bench role kind of player. I don't think it's going to be a starting.
You won't have to give up that much for someone like that.
Yeah, and that's all the team really needs because they're kind of gelling on offense as a starting rotation. You don't want to throw a fucking monkey wrench in this right now and now it's all kind of blocked. Who's going to do what? But yeah, I don't know. I like that move a lot.
Yeah, he's a hooper. He's another guy that he's got that dog in him, man. He would fit in great here.
Yeah.
And he's had years of being pissed off playing for a shitty ass team
Yeah,
anyway.
right.
Like,
He's coming like Kelly Oubre. He's
Yeah.
coming back ready to redeem himself.
getting dumped from Boston and then playing for a shitty team for years and years. Haven't listened to fucking who's the ball down there?
LaMelo,
Fucking yeah, come on now.
LeVar Ball,
Yeah.
probably at all your games.
Brutal.
Oh, man. But yeah, that's the last piece I got on the Sixers and really trade targets is keep an eye out for Scary Terry. I don't think it's going to take much. Can probably going to have to trade Springer. The problem with this team is we've become so attached to everyone
Yeah.
that we don't want to see anyone
The
go.
locker
But
room's real tight.
I think you're going to have to give up Springer and probably one of these picks to get him. But it would make a world of difference, just as I was saying last week. They
big
just
time.
lose that creation aspect when Embiid sits.
I full-heartedly agree.
But yeah, I guess the other thing that I thought was funny is it's so wild how the vibes have shifted. So you remember back in the summer, we were stoked on the Eagles.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
pumped.
saying? And we were like, oh, this James Harden nonsense needs to end, man. I am so over James Harden. The Sixers are going to be a nightmare. They're going to be just a shit show. It's going to be a season full of drama. The situations have made a complete 180.
It is wild. I mean, I think we were, in hindsight, probably a little harsh on the Sixers. I think that's...
Oh, I was saying I still had hope a couple times.
Yeah.
As the season approached, I was saying I still had hope. You were giving me a hard time. Yep, I remember. I got receipts.
Yeah, I mean, but because you get tired of being optimistic about the teams. That's what we do as a sports, fan base. We just,
I mean, that's the life of a Philadelphia sports fan.
But we were collectively also we were all harsh. You were like, I'm not watching the game this year.
Oh, I did say that.
Yeah, so don't be saying you were all super optimistic.
As the season got closer, I was saying, yeah, they're going to win 50 games and be a 3 seed, and that was with Harden.
Mm-hmm. That's true. But yeah, I mean, I feel like for some reason Philadelphia sports teams especially do way better when you don't think about them before they play. You're like, all right, let me just enjoy the ride. Where Eagles, we had so much expectation coming into the season that we expected greatness every week, every time. And granted, there's only 17 games anyway, so you kind of have to. But the Sixers, we didn't have any really, we could predict maybe, okay, they win 50 games, 3-seed, or they do this and that. But we were watching it just to enjoy, like you said, Trevor, like, just enjoy watching Embiid play good basketball. Mm-hmm. And whatever happens, happens. Like last year, we were like, all right, we got hard. Like we should be beating Boston. We should be beating the Bulls, and we should be beating the Hornets every time we play them. Like shitty teams, we should be smacking them. But this season, I haven't really cared who we play. I just enjoy watching them play because it's such a great game when they do play. Even when they lose, their losses aren't even that bad.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Yeah, they're just a fun team to read into, to watch highlights for, to listen to the press conferences. You can feel that locker room's energy. Pat Bev's podcast is great because you get a little bit more in-depth about the locker room. Dude. Like, the whole thing's got a good feel to it. No expectations on it, but it's just a good, fun team to be around.
You have a head coach that isn't a fucking moron.
Yeah.
Yo, when he was saying that thing about he doesn't care that much about foul trouble.
Oh, yeah.
Because Doc, anytime someone got 3 fouls in the first half, Doc's pulling you.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if there's 30 seconds left. Doesn't matter if there's 8 minutes left. Whereas Nick Nurse is like, yeah, I don't really read that much into foul trouble.
Right.
Because if you pull him early, then the only thing that's going to happen is you're going to lose the lead early.
Yeah.
Or if you're losing, you're going to get behind early.
Yeah.
How many times did Doc do that shit?
Like you're even if he doesn't foul out, you're still sacrificing their minutes. So what difference does it make?
It's just a bitch move. You're also then putting that man on ice for no reason. It's just fucking Doc.
Come on, guys. Doc can kiss my ass on Broad Street as well.
Yeah. I don't know. You got anything else in the Sixers?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I guess I don't know what else is going on. The Epstein list.
The Epstein list is out. We're all safe, thankfully. Woo. How about
here's the big question: will Josh Harris be?
I would not be surprised.
I hope so.
Look, we're not making any official accusations. Though I will say, if Josh Harris sued us for defamation, it would bankrupt us all, but it would be great marketing for the pod. Oh, dude,
people would rally behind us.
Against
him.
Yeah, we'd be all right.
We could probably start a Patreon or something.
Yeah, we'd be great.
You gotta spend money to make money.
That'd be great publicity. Plus, he ain't suing us for that much. He's got plenty of money.
Yeah, he ain't worried about us.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Sheen was up in that list, though.
Charlie Sheen.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I don't even know. So this list that's coming out is all of his associates, everyone.
Well, as an associate, that's not necessarily someone that
because they've already
went to the island. That's just someone that
because we already have the flight logs. That's been public for a while,
right?
Mm-hmm.
On the
this
private
is
jet.
Right. This is
people that went to his house, the penthouse in New York, or friends.
What this is
just associates.
To be honest, I don't know what defines an associate of Jeffrey Epstein. Or whatever. Is an associate a business partner or a friend or
you traded with him?
You know what I mean?
Donated.
I don't know if it means you necessarily were at one of his little creepy little parties that he had in New York or on the island, but.
Well, I guess the thing is, it could be, obviously he had lots of, targets. Because obviously, when it was running, a blackmailing operation, I think it's, I don't think it's, a conspiracy theory at this point to say that that's what this was. It's, a trying to blackmail powerful people. So I'm sure there's, he had plenty of, targets, but how many was successful and who wasn't. Like, so, like, I'm sure, like, every name that comes out, they're going to ask these people questions. They're going to be like, oh, yeah, well, they tried to get me to do this, and this, but I didn't, and then I stopped talking to him after I found out that he did this, blah, blah, blah. Like,
Yeah.
He definitely got
So-
OJ.
OJ?
I have
Hell
a
yeah.
feeling OJ's on the list. Have you seen
Maybe.
OJ on Twitter? OJ's out of pocket on Twitter, dude.
Not lately. I haven't seen
him in a while. I haven't seen him in a while, but every time I do open an OJ video on Twitter, just like, this dude is out of his mind. He's probably on that list, dude.
Yeah.
OJ does crack me up, though, the shit that he says.
Dennis
Now.
Rodman,
Hell yeah.
Denny Rod, he's probably on that list.
Although he's kind of hanging out in North Korea. I don't know if he needs to be with the
Yeah,
Epstein
that's
crew.
true.
He got his own
Yeah,
crew.
that's true.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just
He's
gonna
hanging
get-
out with Kim Jong Un.
Yeah.
That's true.
He don't need Epstein. He's
Yeah,
he's
he's
got the main guy.
he's down with
Yeah,
with the
scratch.
People's
Talking like
Republic.
basic people, like, you know, like the dude Philip from England, fucking Bill Clinton, like, you know,
All right,
just
yeah,
generic
I need to
rich
think
white
more
guys
basic.
that you just can already be assume that, yeah, this guy definitely probably did this shit.
Yeah, I mean, you had like
Giuliani.
Hell yeah.
Giuliani.
I would be shocked if he's not on that list.
Dude,
Mayor of
post
New York,
9/11,
man.
everyone's all
Probably.
riled
You
up.
seen him in the Borat movie
Yeah.
when he was like when Borat dressed up as a woman and Giuliani was being all creepy.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah, he's totally on that list, dude.
Yep.
Just bury himself deeper.
Ugh.
yeah, yeah,
Now he's all
Just-
bankrupt and shit. This little broke bitch.
Yeah.
yeah. I don't know who else.
Who else?
Chris Tucker was on the flight logs, but I don't know.
Hey, Chris Tucker ain't messing around like that, though.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Nah. I couldn't see it.
yeah. It was just one of the funnier names that showed up on the flight logs. I
What's
like
the
people were
difference between
trying
the
to
flight
tie
log
in.
and the associate list.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't really understand the distinctions between all this stuff. I do remember, like, people were trying to make some connections between, like, I don't know if you guys ever gotten into the whole, like, Kurt Cobain assassinate, like, a conspiracy theory.
Yeah,
like
I've looked
Courtney
that
Love
up
and kind of
before. I
shit.
love Nirvana.
But apparently, like, Courtney Love's name was not only on the logs, but her name was circled.
What's that mean?
I don't know, but, like,
Murder.
apparently, like, yeah, there's, I don't know. There's a lot of like conspiracies with the whole like Kurt Cobain thing, and that he might have been killed because of I don't know, like heroin
what-
stuff, and
Heroin stuff isn't what he's selling it.
I forget what the whole thing was.
I think he killed
But,
himself.
I think that makes the most sense.
Maybe.
But now his daughter is married to, or at least dating Tony Hawk's son.
Yeah, I did see. That's wild,
It's
dude.
kind of cool. It's a cool
Francis
couple.
Farmer.
It's a cool couple.
Hey,
But there's that. I don't know. They're not on the logs.
Yeah.
They're too young.
Tony Hawk, yeah. If
is Tony Hawk's on the
No,
list?
no,
No,
hey, no,
no.
not Tony Hawk. Hell no, he ain't on the list.
That would be devastating.
Yeah, it would be. yeah.
not Tony Hawk.
All those video games I used to play, man.
Yeah.
Not David Attenborough. Nah, I'm playing. He don't be getting on the jet like that.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time thinking of who else might be on there.
I don't know. Weinstein, he's not on that shit.
I mean,
He
yeah. I mean, at this
totally
point,
is.
He's got to be on that. You got to think of like the
Probably.
most generic. Like he's got to be on that shit.
yeah, Weinstein, like
Epstein.
yeah,
They're
Kevin
practically
Spacey.
brothers,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Weinstein and Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Spacey. Yeah, that's a good
Spacey's
one.
Kevin
probably there
Spacey's
with,
gotta be on
Bryan
there.
Singer.
Mm-hmm. Louis C.K. probably not.
No, I don't think he has enough influence.
But Charlie Sheen, I could definitely see that guy all yipped up on the plane and shit, or in New York somewhere.
yeah,
I did
yeah.
like the beat between fucking Aaron Rodgers though and
Oh,
Colbert
dude. Or Jimmy Kimmel.
or Jimmy Kimmel. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
What's
was
this all
hysterical.
So like, Aaron Rodgers was on the doing his regular paid guest appearance on the Pat McAfee show, and I guess they were talking about these like Epstein files that were about to be released, and Aaron Rodgers said something basically like insinuating that Jimmy Kimmel was going to be listed.
What?
And then like Jimmy Kimmel, got really pissed off and like fired off his tweet, pretty much like threatening to sue him for
What?
defamation and stuff.
Called him a name, called him like
Yeah.
what do you call?
And then today, like the Pat McAfee show, he had to like do this whole thing. It's like, well, I think he was just kind of trying to talk shit, and we were just kind of joking around, blah blah. And because the thing is, like, so Jimmy Kimmel's on ABC, McAfee's on ESPN. They're both owned by Disney. So it's like I'm sure the people, the head honchos at Disney are not really pleased about like someone
Epstein coming up on their show.
having someone on one of their shows accusing one of their other shows of
God.
it's just what a weird
because
messy
they don't want to
thing.
get exposed. Someone in Disney was on that shit too.
Oh, yeah.
They're on that list. Some CEOs in there.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck.
Oh, no, Donald Duck is definitely on there.
Yo, Goofy was in there.
Goofy.
Yeah.
A dog.
Hell
Pluto.
yeah.
Pluto.
Mm-hmm.
Pluto's on
Yeah, what
the
about
island.
Scooby Doo?
Who's the even goofier duck? Daffy Duck?
There's
Donald Duck.
Donald Duck and
Daffy Duck's a Looney Tune, dude. You're getting it
Oh,
twisted.
yeah.
My
Daffy
bad.
Duck.
Come on. Now
yeah, Daffy Duck innocent, but
Elmer Fudd was
Fudd?
he was definitely on there, man.
Elmer Fudd.
Yeah, well, we gotta read that list now, I guess.
Be very quiet.
Yo, but
I'm
hold
molesting
up.
children.
Jacob said, "What if Jacob? Shout out Jacob. You're upstairs yet? Friend of the pod, roommate of the pod." He said it'd be funny if Shaq was on there.
Yo, that'd be
Yeah.
I'll be
devastating.
so
would be-
sad if Shaq is
No.
on there, man. That's
Not
an
Diesel,
American
not
legend.
Diesel.
That would be ass.
I
That'd
guess we'll just have to wait and find out. I think I said they keep like pushing it back. It's like I think now they said it was like January 22nd.
Is it in alphabetical order? Because I can't be fucking sifting all that
Yeah,
shit.
they're just gonna like release them like 5 at a time just to keep dragging it out for the.
It'll be a Netflix series, like the countdown, like the NFL top 100 players of like Epstein top 150.
Yeah, this is like they're gonna reveal like the top 5 names as part of the Super Bowl halftime show.
Oh
It'll
my
be
god!
like who's
Roger Goodell,
who's
number
doing the
15.
halftime show?
Usher.
Usher, yeah, it'd be Usher announcing.
Yo, R. Kelly was on there.
Oh, definitely. He had to
Oh,
be.
sure.
He's definitely on
Oh,
there.
yeah. Taking notes from Epstein and doing his own little thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
Probably
Usher's,
Michael Jackson. You know?
Yeah, probably. I would.
Unless they were too old at that point. He's into the younger crowd.
That's questionable. But hey, we're not going to have any MJ slander on this pod. though.
No. All in jest. All in jest. I think he's an innocent man.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
Except for the Disney
depends
one.
on what do we mean by innocent exactly? Like, how do we?
Except for the old Disney.
Yeah,
anyway,
look,
I'm
the
just
law-
saying he could be on the list. He could not be on the list.
The
Who
law
knows?
is a fuzzy thing.
Maybe he just went as an entertainer, not an actual
Possibly.
participant. So that could be an associate, though. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Whew, good save, Pat. Good save, baby.
Yeah, you did save your ass. I was ready to kick you off this pod, or I was just gonna ready to eject myself from the pod.
Oh, no, I love Michael Jackson. You kidding me? But
Yeah.
that would be a tough one to see, someone like that. But we'll never know until we read this log. I don't know.
Yeah. We'll probably never, know the whole truth. Part of the, that and whoever, actually pulled the trigger that killed JFK or any of these sort of things.
Or who did 9/11?
Yeah.
We got to work
Also
a
a
9/11
mystery.
reference in on this pod too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't hit that yet.
Oof. But, yeah, I mean, it worked, though. Ever since then, the Bills are like number 3 seed, number 2 seed, fighting for
They're
it.
killing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to bring Sean McDermott in, be our D coordinator.
Oof. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of ex-Eagles guys still floating out there that were good once upon a time. But, yeah, that's all I got for the Epstein take. That's all. That's my 2 cents on that one.
I think.
Yeah, I got to pay.
Yeah, I think that's just going to do it for us tonight, everybody. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review every at your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
See ya.